Won't let elementary school students leave because you don't trust them? Back in 4th grade, our school had this rule where we couldn't leave class without a hall pass, and teachers almost never gave them out. They thought we'd just mess around in the hallways or skip class entirely, like we were criminals or something. Most kids would fake stomach aches to go to the nurse, but I never did that stuff. My mom was actually the school nurse, so she'd know if I was lying anyway. One Tuesday during art class, my stomach started feeling weird. We were making clay sculptures, and the smell of the wet clay mixed with paint was making everything worse. I kept working on my project, thinking it would pass. Sometimes you just feel off, and then you're fine, right? But it kept getting worse. My mouth started watering in that bad way, and I could feel my stomach doing flips. I walked up to Mrs. Palmer's desk. She was grading papers and didn't even look up. "Can I go get some water at the fountain?" I asked. "No," she said, still not looking at me. "Go back to your seat." I stood there for a second, confused. I wasn't some troublemaker. I had perfect attendance and never got in trouble, but she just kept writing on her papers like I wasn't even there. I went back to my table and tried to focus on my clay giraffe. My hands were shaking a little. The girl next to me, Brittany, asked if I was okay. I just nodded and kept working, but my stomach was getting worse, way worse. I could feel everything churning inside me. I needed water. Maybe if I drank something, it would settle down. 5 minutes later, I walked back up to Mrs. Palmer's desk. This time I used my best polite voice, the one I used when asking my parents for something important. "Mrs. Palmer, can I please go to the water fountain? I really need water." She finally looked up at me, annoyed. "I already said no. Go back to your seat and don't ask again. You can get water at lunch." Lunch was 40 minutes away. I walked back to my table, and that's when I felt it. That specific feeling in your throat and stomach where you know exactly what's about to happen, and there's no stopping it. I tried to swallow it down, but my body had other plans. I turned toward Mrs. Palmer's desk, took 2 steps, and threw up everywhere. All over her brown leather shoes, all over the bottom of her tan pants, all over the floor around her desk. It just kept coming. The whole class went silent. Someone gasped. Mrs. Palmer jumped up from her chair so fast she knocked over her coffee mug. "Oh my goodness! Bathroom! Go to the bathroom!" But it was too late. I was already done. The classroom smelled terrible. Kids were covering their noses and making faces. Mrs. Palmer was standing there with vomit dripping off her shoes, holding her arms out like she didn't know what to do with them. "Go see your mother," she said quietly, her face bright red. "Tell her you're sick." I grabbed my backpack and walked out, leaving wet footprints down the hallway. When I got to the nurse's office, Mom took one look at me and knew something was wrong. "What happened?" she asked. "I threw up on Mrs. Palmer," I said. "I asked to get water twice and she said no." Mom's face changed. She didn't say anything, just handed me a clean shirt from the spare clothes bin and called Dad to pick me up. But here's the thing, Mom didn't let it go. She talked to the principal that same day. By the next week, there was a new rule. If a student asked to get water or use the bathroom and seemed sick, teachers had to let them go. No questions asked. Mrs. Palmer had to attend some kind of meeting about it. When I came back to school 3 days later, Mrs. Palmer had a trash can next to every table in the art room. She never said no when someone asked to leave again. Not to me, not to anyone.